because the transition starts. So the minute you're elected, your life changes. The president gets the football, they don't get the football, but they get access to secure information. World leaders are calling the president-elect. Immediately, your security detail changes. So you now have a presidential motorcade. And you have between the election day and inauguration, which is basically November to the end of January, to get everything together. You have to develop your transition team. You have to start hiring your staff and vetting people, because there has to be a plan to getting people in the White House. This is still a federal government, so you can't just put anybody up there. You have to know something about them. You know what, you guys? So, see, this is going to be reported on as Michelle Obama throwing shade and all that sort of stuff. But the truth is,
but these are just facts.
This is
actually where our government works.
This is what we did.
But
this is before you even move into the White House. So then there's and we had to move because we had kids going to school. So we came in January. We wound up moving like 3 times before the actual day of inauguration. So on the day of inauguration, on inauguration day, that's when you get access to the White House.
For the
first time in a meaningful way, other than the visit that I did with Laura and a second visit when Jenna and Barbara showed the girls the house. We didn't see the house. You could come in and measure. We didn't know where we were going. We didn't know much about the house.
Can I just understand this? So you walk in, the inauguration, it happens, and they
So there's the parade. There's the parade first, and it was cold on that parade. And everybody left us in the stand. All our friends were like, we got to get ready for the ball. And I was like, well, yes, so do we. Where are you going? So it was me, Joe, and Barack, the last people out there, because we didn't want to leave any parade attendee and not have them, because they marched in the cold, so we stayed till the bitter end. But then I had like an hour. For the first time from that parade, that's the first time we walked into our house, and in between the time of the inauguration and the parade, they move you. They move your stuff in.
And
they put sheets on pillows.
They did it?
It was fine. It's a starter move, right? But everything is put away in places you don't know where they are.
So they were like, First Lady, you know, your bras are here, your underwear is here. Like, are they literally like that? And then
there's nobody there because they're butlers. So I walked into the house. Barack went off to get ready. I don't know what door he went behind, because there's nothing but closed doors. And I walk into the house. I'm freezing cold, and they're wonderful staff there, but I've never met them before. I'm like, hey. First of all, it's like, where are my kids? Because they were off doing something. Our staff had organized a separate little inaugural thing, so they were already off and running. I walked into a door. They pointed to a door that was my room. That's the first time I saw it. I walked in and I saw one of my staff people that was there that it could at least point me to where my dress was. But it was hard for staff to even get into the house because they had to get their IDs. It's really a crazy way to transition. So I literally had an hour to eat, take a bath to try to warm up, put on that gown, and go back out until 2 o'clock in the morning with balls. Still didn't know where my kids were. Still didn't really know where I was going to sleep, because where my dressing room was different from the bedroom. There was no tour given because we had to leave right away. It was very disorienting, to say the least.
So you wake, so you wake up and then it's daylight and you're thinking, well, maybe today, but there's no. So eventually you learn this, and eventually it becomes your home. Now, do you have a way of making sure that something that's intended to be private stays private? Like, do you put a post-it, you're like, don't ever open that door?
Yes, you can do that.
Is it, are you saying it?
What's in that drawer, are you wondering?
Whatever is private.
No, you can definitely say, you know, if you want complete privacy, you can say, don't go in this room, don't go in this door. You establish your own way of living in the house. But it takes a couple of months for people to know, because they just, that morning, had a whole new family in the house.
It's amazing.
That very morning, you were, like I said, new heads on pillows, an oath gets taken, and that's how quickly it changes.